All right, so Skull Merchant's getting a design preview, right? So these are their proposed changes. They haven't started on them yet. This is basically like what they're doing with Trickster, where they're like, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. Let us know. They got a survey at the end to take to confirm whether you think this is a good idea or not. But basically, this is what they have planned for her. So basically, they're overhauling her again for like the 20th time in a row, trying to make her more fun to play as and more fun to play against. So we're not going to go through all the details. We're going to keep it pretty simple. But basically, you can see this very, very high quality artwork that Behavior has whipped up, right? This is what it's going to look like. So, you know, those big ass scan lines that you could see in the past? Well, now they're going to be much smaller, but they're still going to be the same size, but you'll only be able to see the small version. So, you know, if you're going to get hit by the scan, but you won't see the entire thing, right? So it's not as obvious. And then basically you'll have some different power modes, right? So this says right here, drone control. Once a stealth drone has been active for a short period of time, Skull Merchant can take control of the drones from a distance. During this time, she becomes undetectable as her controlled drone becomes a primary threat. These stealth drones move slightly faster than her base movement speed, so I'm assuming they probably move at 120, and consume a new resource power unique to each drone while being controlled. So this is basically like Singularity in his cameras. While she's on her iPad mini, she's controlling the drone. She'll just be idle and she'll be undetectable, right? So just like Singularity on his cameras. Power is consumed slowly as the controlled device idles and slightly more when it's moving. Skull Merchant is also able to use a burst of this power to activate drone propulsion. This charged power sends the drone flying at high speed relative to how long it was charged. So I guess you hold it and it's got a bar that goes up and then you let go and the more you charge it, the faster it goes. It kind of reminds me of the hunter killer drones from Black Ops 3, I believe. Those little drones that you would throw out and you could control them to a target and then use your boost to dive bomb on a target and kill them. But obviously, this is going to be way more jank, not nearly as good, and it's not going to have the same verticality. It's all going to be horizontal and stuff, and it's obviously just going to injure and not kill, right? It says, put simply, stealth drone goes burr, which I think is kind of funny. Look at that. They put the little beanie on the survivor, too. It's Nia. So, I mean, it's not very artistic, but I mean, I like it. You know, it's kind of wholesome, I guess. Hitting a survivor with drone propulsion causes them to lose a health state. If you hit a survivor or collide with an object during this action, the drone will be destroyed and returned to the Skull Merchant. So, if you hit a wall, tree, if this goes through Skull Merchant mains, you're going to know exactly how I feel as a Huntress main because your drone's going to be blown up on shit that just doesn't make sense at all. So, yeah. With these new drones, we want to give players something that feels familiar. Using drones to gather intel, but opens the door for unique skill expression opportunities, repositioning drones and propulsion skill shots. That is true. You could literally just... You don't even have to fly the drone to injure a survivor. You could just fly it to maybe the other side of a loop or to a better loop. So that way you can scan survivors there. Although there's no point anymore because they got rid of claw traps. So I don't know why you would do that, actually. Never mind. Blah, blah, blah. Using technology to hunt or prey, keep her identity, blah, 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 blah. And here they go. They removed hindered, haste, lock on in the claw trap. So everything that was unique to her is gone pretty much. They're completely reworking her. At least that's what they're thinking so far, right? Then you got drone hacking. Drone hacking returns to a greater degree of risk reward. Like before, drones can be disabled by survivors and putting a series of buttons. If a drone is disabled, Skull Merchant's aura is revealed to that survivor. I don't know how long, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. That's still a long time. That doesn't need to be a thing. If the hack is failed, they are revealed by killer instinct and are prevented from attempting another hack. That's kind of terrible, honestly. Like, that's a very awful... It says with a greater degree of risk and reward, but that's no risk and high reward, honestly. Oh boy, killer instinct for a couple seconds. No big deal there, right? Then they got this section called red light, green light. In addition to her drone, Skull Merchant has another power that ties to her radar. While the name is currently to be determined, let's refer to it as global detection power. Once this power is charged and activated, a global warning plays for all survivors. So global warning as in Huntress has a sound that plays the shing sound when her hatchet hits full power. That's a global warning. So it's a map-wide sound effect. So once her power is fully charged, they'll get the map-wide warning. For a short period afterwards, any survivor who actively sprints is revealed on her radar. Of course, crouching, standing still, and hiding in lockers will prevent all detection. Added to the intel provided by stealth drones around the map, this should help ensure killers are easily able to keep tabs on survivor move. I mean, it doesn't seem that great. A short period. So how long is a short period? 10, 15 seconds. And you have to be looking at your iPad mini the whole time, I'm assuming. If it just shows you the aura, they don't say it does, but that would probably be the best way to do it. Show the aura, but if it did work like that, it could be better for sure. In line with our rationale above, we want survivors to have a clear understanding of what's happening when they face the Skull Merchant. Whether overlapping timers and status effects from the Skull Merchant's previous kit have often obscured the expected result of an encounter. Structuring this power around a more well-known game, red light, green light, provides a clear and readable threat, a clear benefit for the killer, and a clear path for survivors to try and overcome it. I mean, I'll get my thoughts here in a second. Tentative release, we're currently evaluating a timeline for Skull Merchant's rework, but do envision it being quite far out as our primary focus is quality of life updates. Once we have a timeline to share, we'll be sure to keep you informed on future design previews. How do you feel about this rework? So, basically, this isn't going to change much, honestly. Survivors are still going to hate Skull Merchant. It's too late, honestly. You would have to do, I don't even know what you could do to make survivors not hate Skull Merchant, because they still hate her and instantly DC against her now, even though she's the weakest killer in the game and doesn't have a power, right? People just hate the character that much. There's that. Survivors hate ranged killers. Any ranged killer, no matter how weak they are, if they can outplay a pallet. Even if you had a killer that could get a hit over a pallet, but it took 35 minutes to land at one singular hit over a pallet, they would still complain about that because they would feel like it's unfair, right? So you have a drone that can fly over a pallet and hit a survivor in the face and cause them to lose a health state. So survivors are going to hate that. Maybe you could pallet stun the drone. That would be some good counterplay. They're giving up a pallet, but they're keeping their health state. Red light, green light, survivors are going to hate that, being forced to walk for 10, 15 seconds. Yeah, they're not going to like that at all. Or it's going to be so inconsequential because she'll have to check her iPad mini every single time that happens that survivors will just ignore it completely. And survivors hacking drones is a huge benefit now. Like, I already hacked drones to begin with just because it's so easy to do. You'll never fail ever, pretty much. Now you get aura reading on the killer, so you get rewarded for ruining the killer power. I mean, you get double rewards, you know what I mean? So you're not getting scanned, you're not getting picked up, and now you're not getting a claw trap or anything. Even if you do fail, it's killer instinct. Oh boy, literally insignificant. So yeah, I don't know what they're thinking really. I mean, I think it could be fun. I think it would be kind of fun to fly a drone around and kamikaze into survivors, but knowing Dead by Daylight is probably going to be super jank, and yeah, survivors aren't going to like it regardless. So yeah, I just wanted to cover that real quick. That does it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do that good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one.